Hello and welcome back to the podcast. We are super excited this week because we talked about this last year and we actually did it. So we have somebody coming on, Brandy from charmed.mi, if you're looking her up on Instagram. She is going to be doing our tarot readings live this episode. So we had no idea what she was going to say. We kind of just rolled with it. And so we're not going to talk too much about everything that went on. We'll do a quick recap real quick of like what we did this past weekend, but then we're going to get straight into the episode because it turned out being an intense session for
it was very
you.
intense for me. I feel like yours was super eerie accurate, just like everything she was saying I felt like was a conversation we've had at least within this last month. And then I thought mine was going to go like a similar route where it was just kind of cut and dry. This is what it was. And we really got into the weeds of things.
Yeah, I was glad that it happened because I feel like we weren't sure. Like, we knew it was accurate after mine happened, but then yours like got so deep and it was still so accurate. So we were like, what the hell is going on here? But there's also like a very good spooky story, kind of
the best I've ever heard.
Yeah, I literally had chills, so make sure you stick around to the end to hear her spooky story. But also, if you want to join the Patreon, now will be the time because Evan is coming on for bonus content this week and we're gonna play some games, so check that out. And yeah, this past weekend was kind of eventful for us. We did some more spooky activities.
I'm kind of proud of us at the rate in which we're like consistently doing spooky activities. We're kind of spreading them out a little bit, but like we're not neglecting any of our spooky activities till the last minute, which is good.
Well, it's funny because you'll see during the tarot readings, we were talking about how just like busy things have been.
Yeah.
And it usually does get like that around fall, I feel like. Yeah. But it's been way worse this year, like times 1,000. But somehow I think we've just really been like, we're not going to miss out on these activities this year because it flies by. And then every year we're like, damn, we didn't go to like any hay rides or we didn't do this. And so we carved pumpkins on Friday.
That we did.
We intended to do a little pumpkin carving contest. We also opened a bottle of red wine, which was
that was
crazy for us.
We don't drink red wine. You don't even usually drink wine, but I feel like us going to Traverse City changed you, and I kind of love it.
Same. It changed me, and we opened a bottle of red wine. We did pumpkin carving. We were trying to have a contest. So yeah, super adult. Meanwhile,
I feel like we could still have the contest, though.
Meanwhile,
what are you going to say here?
You were like, Brian, can you cut my pumpkin for me? Brian, do you think you could just fix mine real quick? I'm like, Brittany, this is a competition.
I know, you and Tracy were like, enough with you getting help from Brian. Brian, you cannot help her anymore.
I think it's fair to say they all turned out good.
Yours was the best.
Thank you. We'll put like little pictures.
That's what I'm thinking. We could do a contest here in the comment section.
Vote on whose pumpkin was best. We'll put them up on the screen. But yeah, it's safe to say though, we have carved pumpkins in the past. We changed it. We painted pumpkins, I think it was last year or the year before.
The year before. Last year we carved pumpkins. The year before that, or maybe the year before that, we painted. But carving, we're now 2 for 2. 2 years in a row carving.
I was just gonna say, I feel like it's harder than I remember every time.
Yeah.
But another adult thing that I did that I've never done.
What'd we do?
Besides opening a bottle of red wine and carving pumpkins. I actually put the pumpkin seeds in the oven
and cooked them. Weirdly enough, I could have sworn you did that last year, but you didn't.
I've never done it myself. So Elena was like, you're a liar, because she was like, we used to do this with our family. And I'm like, yes, but it's my first time like at my own house doing it. Yes. So it doesn't count. But yeah, so I did that. That was another adultish thing.
That's cute.
We had another housewarming party this weekend.
Exciting stuff. Another very adult thing, I feel. All our friends are moving out and living their best lives.
Very weird times. It's like everyone's getting houses, getting married. But we have brought our A game, I think, recently with our housewarming gifts.
We honestly, I love the gifts that we've been bringing.
Which kind of makes sense once we get into the tarot readings. But
Yeah.
hosting stuff. But I took some saying that we used to do with our friends and I turned it into like a neon sign. So
It's the cutest thing I've ever seen.
it was just like, it's so personal to our friend group, but also just works. So like anybody who comes over and sees the neon sign will be like, oh, that's cool. But then like our friends know that down
this like the hidden
root.
meaning.
Yeah. So I thought that was a good idea. You always do a good one.
I try.
Which I feel like share with that's a good idea
with
for
the
anyone
class.
who has share with the class.
My first house, which you didn't, I don't think you had did you have a housewarming party? I just got you a gift to warm your house.
Kind of, yes.
And I got you, this was a couple years ago now, a welcome mat, but it was a custom welcome mat with her dogs, Lottie and Wolfie, on it.
It was so cute.
I got it on Etsy. The seller was great. And then I did the same thing for our friends that just got their house. They have 2 pups as well. But the seller I found now actually like takes a physical picture and like traces it, which is interesting. Because
so it's more customized.
It's even more custom than yours. Yeah. So yours might need an upgrade here sooner or later. And then I got
a crock pot.
A crock pot for our other friend. But he's moving into a house by himself, you know. He needed some help in the kitchen, I felt like a crock pot was appropriate for that.
It's cool too because it's like a lot of our friends, it is their first time in their own place. So it's like there's so many more options
for somebody like that.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, so that we did that on Saturday, and then Sunday we both functioned again like humans. Woo! I went to the Lions game, which I was so excited about, which I always am. Mm-hmm. But like I was extra excited this time. We won. And it was my first time going this season that we've actually been like doing well. Yeah, so it was just so exciting.
They lost when I went to the game and I was sad about it. And I'm like, do I go back? What if I'm bad luck? But I want to go back.
Yeah, that's a risky move.
It is.
It was funny though, because we've been talking so much about how like the NFL has just been blasting Taylor Swift all over the TV. And so when we went, I was with Dad. So they were like, oh, like they put us on the Jumbotron. Mm-hmm. And when you're on the Jumbotron, you can see it. So like, you know.
Right.
So we were like, oh, okay, cool. But then I didn't know they also put it on TV until you texted me and you're like, oh, you look nice on TV. And I was like, fuck. And
which I thought was so dirty after you told me. You were like, that wasn't when we were on the Jumbotron.
It wasn't at the same time we were on the
I was like, so you just had no idea that you were being like publicly aired to whoever was watching the Lions game?
But it leads me to 2 things. One, the NFL has really been like helping Taylor out because they're showing her at like very highlighted moments.
That's what I said. A touchdown.
Yes, they did not do that for us.
No, they didn't.
And then
just sitting there, which was fine. You looked fine. You looked great.
Well, we just didn't know, and like also nothing was happening at the time. So I was like, I look pissed, but I just didn't know. But then it leads me to another conclusion.
What is
about Taylor Swift? So like when I first saw these videos of her like on the TV and she's like chest bumping and like doing all these like dramatic things, I was like,
that's what I pictured you doing if I saw you on like TV.
That's crazy. I would have if it was a touchdown, but it wasn't. But it leads me to believe that she really didn't know like the timings of when she was on or not.
Wait, that's such a good point. I didn't even think about that.
She was not acting. She was genuinely like that excited.
Right, because she wasn't necessarily on the Jumbotron. They were just catching her in moments because that's how they caught you.
Yes. So it must have been like her real raw reaction.
And she must have been having a blast.
The entire time. Because,
that's crazy.
Yeah, but it was super fun. You watched the game. We were like texting the whole time.
We were comparing notes. She was like, what are they showing on TV right now? I missed that last play. I was like, I don't know. They didn't show a replay here either.
Well, it was so weird. I feel like anytime we've gone to the game in the past, they show replays very regularly. But for some reason, they weren't showing replays.
Yeah.
And I was like, a lot of times we would miss something. Like, wait, what was that flag for? Like, show us.
Right.
Show us. We don't know. But it was so weird. So I kept texting Brittany being like, are they showing the replay?
What happened?
What just happened? But yeah, no, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And it was fun having somebody at home being like, this is what's going on the real TV.
Here's what you look like on the TV.
My God. No, as soon as you sent me that, I was like, oh, should I smile? Like, where do I look? But no, it was a lot of fun. But like we said, there's a lot to these tarot readings. So we're about to get into that. We talk a little bit about how I know Brandy, kind of how this came about during the reading. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Also, we talk about how you can kind of like use the reading to do some of your own stuff. So that was pretty cool. Also explain like kind of how somebody gets into something like tarot readings. So yeah, keep watching and we are going to get into that. All right, we are here with Brandy from Charmed. She's going to be doing our tarot readings. Hello, welcome to the podcast.
Oh my gosh, thanks so much for having me, ladies.
Thanks for being here.
We're so excited. Can you tell us, before we start, a little bit about how you got into doing the readings, kind of what goes into it?
For sure. So I've been very interested in everything mystical, magical, spooky since I was young. I definitely was one of those people who was like, I'm going to Hogwarts. And people were like, that's not real. And I was
Yes,
are
it
you
is.
sure? Are you sure? Because I'm just going to be magical, I promise. But yeah, I started doing makeup, lashes, transforming people's outsides. And I always had like an interest in tarot and would do it for myself and my friends and my family. And then like about a year and a half ago, I took an actual class and got a mentor and just kind of, I guess, tapped into what was already there.
That is so cool.
Yeah,
That is so cool. So everybody kind of, tarot is, you go off the cards, but there you kind of interpret them like your own way.
Totally. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll give you like my spiel. If you were to come in for a reading with me, this is what I would say off the top. First, obviously ask you, have you ever had a reading before? Start there. But the way that I personally read tarot is I think that we have people who help guide us, whether you're someone who thinks that that's like Jesus, God, those type of figures, or if you have people who've passed on, maybe you have spirits of kids that you're going to have one day, or just general spirit guides. They try to send us messages and signs throughout our life, but we don't speak the same language as them. So I think I'm more of like a translator more than like a fortune teller or a future seer. I think that I just help deliver the messages that the people think that you need to hear right now.
I love that.
So yeah, it's a combination of reading from the cards. I do what it's like kind of called picture reading. So sometimes things in the art will jump out and usually it's specific. So like if there's a fish on the card, I'll be like, there's a fish. Is someone involved a Pisces? And usually they're like, yes.
Yes. Okay.
But that doesn't always come up. It's just like an extra tool. But yeah.
So
Lots of
exciting.
intuition stuff going on, and we'll see what happens.
We're going to have to ask you at the end, too, for some spooky stories.
I was so hoping you were going to ask, because I was like, where do we begin?
Oh, my gosh. Okay.
We want to hear them.
Yeah, we want to hear. So,
Beautiful.
do you want to start? What do you feel? Do you want to start with me, Britt?
Whoever wants to go first.
Me first.
Yeah, you first.
I knew. I was like, who's going to be the one who's like, no.
She's braver
like,
than
you
me.
go
There's
first.
always
Okay.
one. That's
Okay.
totally fine.
I'm excited.
There's
Okay.
nothing to be scared of. If there's anything that comes up that you are like spooked by, let me know. We can move on.
Okay.
I am a talker. You guys are all going to find this out.
I'm so excited.
So if I go for too long or if you have a question, feel free to interject.
I want
you
it
can,
all.
Like, put your hands up, whatever it is. I will also, like, I personally think tarot is, like, very conversational.
Yeah.
So there's going to be, like, a decent amount of back and forth. I like to clarify things.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Let's do it.
All right. Do you have anything specific that you, like, came here today wanting to know? Or do you want to, like, reread? Do you want to look at some of these, like, what people
Topics?
normally ask about? And again, we don't have to do any of these. These are just like the most popular things that people normally come for.
I don't know if there's anything specific. I feel like I kind of want to know about everything.
Okay. All right. We're going to do all 5 of these areas.
Okay.
Let me put them. I think that they should go in a specific order personally, because I think that the cups kind of tip into each other, if that makes sense. So like if this is bad, it's
And
just
that-
kind of like they impact each other in a certain way.
Yeah.
There we go. That feels good.
Oh, your nails are so pretty.
Thank you so much. I had
are
to get them
super
done
cute.
special for you.
Oh my gosh.
love
Well, you should have told me mine are chipped up.
No, I'm sure they're perfect. No zooming in. Everything's fine. I know I felt very young and hip. She's like, do you want the chrome? I was like, I'll do the chrome.
Oh my
I
gosh.
love the chrome.
Had to bring it out for just a little shady.
I love it. I love it.
All right, so what we have here is we're going to start with work, That's going to flow into money, which is going to flow into love, to your home, and then maybe we'll talk about health a little bit.
Okay.
Obviously, like, I'm not a doctor. We're going to do disclaimer portion just because this is the wild west of the internet.
Yeah.
Not a doctor, not a psychiatrist, not a lawyer.
Are you sure?
I mean, maybe one day, but not currently. Not in
Seems
this
like
timeline.
therapeutic. We could be therapy.
That's the thing. It's therapeutic.
Yeah.
I'm not a therapist. This cannot be replaced for therapy. Not the same.
That's how I was using it.
I know that's why you were calling. So yeah, disclaimer piece done.
Okay.
Let's get into it. So I'm going to start just by shuffling the cards here. We're going to see what comes up. If anything falls out of the deck, that is usually something.
Uh-oh.
I'm like, it's already happening. I usually pull those to the side, though. Sometimes I'll see where I think they fit in here.
Okay. So you draw everything at once, or do you do each? Okay.
Yep, I'm going to pull a card for each of these, and then we're going to go down the line.
Okay.
We'll start with one in each. And then if we have to clarify any information or if you want to know more in that subject, we can pull like clarifying cards.
Okay.
I also have a different deck over here that is more for like super direct questions. So if something comes up that's like kind of like esoteric or like it could be something like this and you have like something more specific, we can hop over there.
Okay.
Whatever you need. All right, let's see. And then I'm not sure if I'm going to keep these in this direction. It just depends how they come out. All right, I'm going to say that those are good. Then I'm going to look at your bottom too. Okay.
Today's episode is brought to you by Green Chef. If your schedule is looking anything like ours this fall, so busy it's actually spooky, check clean eating off your to-do list with Green Chef. Try their new quick and easy recipes ready in 25 minutes or less to stay on track this busy season. They deliver everything you need to eat clean the easy way, so you can continue to feel your best with nutritionist-approved recipes that support your healthy lifestyle and taste great too. That's why I love Green Chef. Meal prepping is so much easier with Green Chef. I can choose from over 80 options per week on the menu to get the exact kind of meals I want. Quick and easy, calorie smart, delicious discoveries, and plant-based options delivered straight to my doorstep. And I don't have to worry about missing out on any of my fall activities because Green Chef takes on the meal planning and shopping for you. Try the #1 meal kit for eating well yourself. Go to greenchef.com/60shady and use code 60shady to get 60% off plus free shipping. That's greenchef.com/60shady and use code 60shady to get 60% off plus free shipping. Thank you to Green Chef for sponsoring today's episode.
So I like to start with the bottom of the deck. I
Okay.
kind of call it like not the root of the issue, because I'm not saying that there's an issue,
Yeah.
I've got plenty.
but it's kind of like, that's again why we're here. This is kind of where you're at in the situation right now.
Okay.
So we got the 3 of Wands, but it's reversed. So for me, everyone reads reversals differently. I personally think that it just means that there's either a blockage or some work that has to be done in that area for it to turn around.
Okay.
Or if it's a negative card, then it's like, okay, like we might be wanting to be cognizant of this because we want to stay away from it.
Okay.
So this one is reversed. 3 of Wands, this person is kind of like looking for more. Wands have a lot to do with passions in our life. So it could be that you're searching just kind of like for a deeper why of like, okay, like why am I doing this? Or like, what are more projects that are going to feel like me? It's not like a huge deal of like, this is going to make or break me. It keeps me up at night. It's more of just like in the back of your head, like when you're really quiet and still, it might like come up of like, like, am I doing enough? Or like, I have this project I've been thinking about. It's just kind of there.
Okay.
So you're kind of in this like liminal space of like, I could do more or I could stay where I'm at. I just have to see like what's going to be best for me.
Okay.
That's kind
That
of where
makes
you're at
sense.
now.
Yeah, that
I
makes
love
sense.
that. I'm going to say, does that make sense? Does that feel like you?
It does.
All right, cool. Let's move down the line here. So we're going to start with work. We have the Knight of Cups here. So this is someone who, again, is like kind of looking for more, looking out there, but like there's some kind of like emotional tie going on here. I don't know if it's like, I'm not feeling super connected to like who I'm being when I'm doing work, or I'm not feeling super connected to this project. I don't know how to say no to certain projects. It's kind of that type of vibe.
Okay.
The person on the card is in like full like safety gear, basically. He's like a knight, but his helmet like is open. So you're kind of coming to the realization, like you're seeing things like that instead of you being completely unaware of what's going on. But I also feel like there's a level of guardedness that goes into your work where it's like, I don't know maybe how much you want to put out there of yourself.
Right.
Or like, if I am going to do something new, are people going to be like, why is she doing this? Or where is this coming from?
Right.
That kind of vibe. But like, I think that there's more out there for you. There's also a little horse on his shoulder that gives like very big, I hear like workhorse energy. That's like, when I say I hear, I get like, I hate to use the word download because it's such like a taboo word. Everyone's like, I get downloads from wherever. But like, I will like hear something over and over again. And that to me means I should say it out loud. Sometimes I don't know where it's coming from, but I will say it. So I hear like workhorse, like you have a really good work ethic when you want to, but like you're having trouble deciding where you want to put that energy, maybe.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Cool. You're like,
100%.
At me next time. Thank you so much.
100%.
I'm glad that that's making sense because honestly, the money card here, it's very tied together. Already getting dry mouth, you guys.
You're
I've
good.
hit a mile a minute.
It happens all the time. I always try to do it when I'm like, all right, Brittany, now you talk for a while so I can
you
take
guys
a
chat
drink.
about something.
Typically during the Shady stories, I'll like take a big gulp of water while she's talking.
I'm like, please, just give me a moment. Okay, so your money card, we got cups again. So again, this is something that like you're really feeling. It's like kind of a mind-heart issue going on. On this card, it has 2 cups, black and white, and it really has to do with like finding that balance and again, like kind of making a decision. There is this lion on top too. I love when the lion comes up in here because it is something that they're kind of reminding you that you do have like the strength, power, and courage to like move forward if you so choose to. They're kind of like, we have your back vibes, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
The little snaky guys that are on there, it can mean a lot of different things. One, it could be that like these thoughts are very like becoming a little bit insidious where it's like, okay, I was like kind of trying to just ignore and work through, but they're really starting to come up again.
Okay.
It's kind of like they keep knocking on your door, being
Right.
like, okay, like we're putting it off. It's fine. But maybe we need to do a little bit more motion here.
Okay.
But like, good.
Yeah.
All like really good stuff so far. There's nothing that's alarming here.
Okay.
It's just like,
I could see that. I could see that. I feel like it's just a lot of people who like own their own businesses and just do their own stuff. Like, I'm sure you relate to those things too.
100%.
Yeah.
It's like very easy.
Yeah.
This also reminds me a lot of like angel and devil on your shoulder. It's very easy to like listen to them instead of listening to like your head and your heart.
Yeah.
Pick one. You only need one counsel and it's you. Like, it's almost giving like the calls coming from inside the house. Like, you know what it is, but you just keep circling it.
Yep.
We love it. Okay.
Makes sense.
We're gonna hop over to love.
Okay.
So you got the star reversed, which I think personally makes sense for like where you are currently at. The star is usually a card of like, okay, like we've done a lot of hard work and we've just been like, not necessarily going through it, but like it's been a long journey and like she hasn't seen water for months and she hasn't sat down and she finally gets to sit down, resting her feet in the water. She's chilling. She gets to drink her water and she has these stars above her because she kind of has a moment to just like put her head back in the clouds instead of like nose to the grind. But here's the vibe. It's reversed.
Oh.
So
it's not me.
No, but I think to me, I hear like, wedding planning sucks.
Yeah.
Wedding planning is hard. Like, I don't think it necessarily means like your relationship's out of whack. Like, that's not what I'm saying. But like your relationship is in a period of like hard work. It's not in a period of we're chilling. And sitting in it. But again, like going back to how I read reversals is just a little bit of work needs to be done to flip this.
Right.
So like immediately, one, as someone who has been married, but just like as a reader, this is giving like, well, yeah, like you have to do the work to get to the end, and then like
then you're chilling.
Honeymoon vibes.
Yeah,
that is very much like feet in the water. We're chilling. We did all that. That's what I feel like that star reversed is for you, which again, very good. Like no bad feelings.
Yeah, that makes sense too.
Yes,
we've been talking about that. It's like you don't realize how much goes into it.
No, you don't.
And then you're in it and you're like, damn.
Yes, and it doesn't matter how many people tell you. It's like when you're in high school and they're like, it goes so fast, da, 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 and you're like, yeah, of course, I'm 12. It's fine.
And now you're sitting here and we're like, wow.
Yep, same thing.
Yeah.
Home. We got, again, another reversal, but again, to me, this is really like aligning and making sense. You got the Empress reversed. The Empress is like one of my personal favorite cards. I didn't wear her today. I wore the High Priestess, but I always have one of my ladies on me. The Empress is kind of the balance of hard and soft. Also going back to this Two of Cups energy. There's roses on her card, and to me, I think roses are like the most iconic depiction of hard and soft because like they're beautiful. People seek them. They're drawn to them. Right. They're just like an image of beauty, but like they do have thorns. Like they will get you if they have to. The Empress also is like very intelligent and not necessarily like just book smart or just street smart. Like she's just like a confident person, and she has knowing about herself, about where she is. I think that this is very like homestead vibes, like, oh yes, like I'm the matriarch of the home. No, like not kid vibes, like there's not like that like maternal, like I'm not getting that from the card at this time, but like this is really like making that house a home vibe, like inside of yourself and with the people around you. Again, it's reversed probably because there's so much going on. You have wedding planning, you have like possible change up with your business in these cards, like there's a lot of stuff. It's hard to like be confident that you're like competent and you know your stuff. I don't know what the swearing situation is, so we're going to keep it PG in case your kids are in the car. But I think that there just needs to be, and I don't know if you need to remind yourself or if like you need a little bit of encouragement from other people to kind of like remember who you are, Simba.
I love that.
But like that's like what I hear in my head, like pop culture moment. Remember who you are. Yeah. And I think that this will flip around, and you'll really feel that Empress energy in your home. Again, I think that with the pouring of the cups,
it makes sense. It's all related.
100%.
That's all I've been saying lately too. I'm like, I'm just so busy. I just want to sit on my couch for a minute, and I just can't. And I'm like, no, I told her the other day, I'm like, I call her, I'm like, I think Lottie's depressed.
She
my dog.
Those exact words.
And
I was
she
like,
goes,
oh no.
She goes, what? That's why you called me? I go, yeah, because I haven't been able to cuddle her on the couch lately.
It's very important. That's very hard.
Seriously.
We had a whole conversation about it.
Seriously.
Wishing you well, girl.
I know. Poor little dog. But yeah, no, I feel all that. I definitely feel that.
We love it. We love it.
Makes sense.
All right, let's get into this health situation here.
Uh-oh.
No, it's okay. Everything's fine. It is another reversal.
Perfect.
Wow.
But that's fine. I do, like, personally, as a reader, think a lot of times in this health area, one, because I'm not a doctor. Two, because it's what I would be more comfortable talking about. I think the cards a lot of times bring up more like mental health than like physical health. I'm not going to be like, you need to go see a doctor tomorrow. Like that's not what we're going with here. You did get the Knight of Wands reversed. So again, back to kind of where we were over here and your first card, like where you are now with the Three of Wands. It feels like this insidious thought thing that's like starting to happen in your head, maybe causing like anxious feelings or just like unknown, which is spooky, whether you want to call that like anxiety or not. It's spooky feels. No, couldn't be me. Not me. It just feels like once you get like the passion piece figured out, that everything is going to be chill. Yeah. So with this, if it were right side up instead of reversed, like you guys can see, this horse is like rip-roaring and ready to go 100%.
Yeah.
It's kind of like if you can plug in like your why and that passion and like what you want to do and why you want to do it. I kind of hear, like, it hasn't come up, but I have a feeling it's probably going to, like, stuff about legacy and, like, what you're going to leave behind one day. Like, that is what is going to get everything in motion. Again, like, if you're picturing all these cups pouring into each other, if you can get these to, like, turn around, you, like, click them, like, they're in place. It's in place, 100%.
Locked
and then this
in.
horse, like, takes
off. Yeah.
Yeah. It could be, like, a really cool and exciting time for you if you want it to be.
Yeah.
This guy is definitely like more covered and protected, at least in the head area. As you can see, his chest plate is gone. I think this personally is illustrated this way because he's like really listening to his heart for once. But still, like, his head is still on his shoulders.
Yeah.
He's like, I know it's there if I need it, but like for once I'm gonna listen to my heart because it's really easy to just be like, I'll do the logical thing. I'm gonna listen to my head.
Yeah, I do tend to do that. But I feel like this all makes sense. And like you said, like, it all just kind of goes together.
Yeah.
But that's just like you said, it just kind of just pieces together. Once you figure out one thing, you figure out the rest. But I definitely feel this. I've been saying, like, all what you've just been saying, I think, like, this whole week. Yeah. That's been, like, the conversation we've had.
Like, that is true. That's
this
pretty
is
much all we've
feels
covered.
accurate.
Yeah, so it definitely makes sense to me.
Do you want any more info or clarification in any of these areas, or do you have any specific questions about any of them?
I don't think so. I feel like I know exactly what these are, but maybe this one. I kind of want to know.
Ooh, one of my favorite cards. It's actually my birth card.
Oh.
I should have come with that information. I should have gotten you guys.
What does that mean?
Maybe we'll like pause this at some point and I'll find out your guys' birth cards. You can like add up the date of your birthday and everything, and it corresponds with one of the cards in the deck. And it's kind of like who you show up as in this life.
Oh.
I don't know. It's just like kind of a fun thing.
Yeah,
I think
I've never
everyone
done
should
that.
know
We'll do that before
we leave.
Yeah.
And before we do spooky stories. We'll get there. But yes, this is me, the hermit.
Stop. I love 100%.
That. That's what I look like at night. I know I don't look like that right now, but in the darkness, that's me.
Oh my God.
I think there needs to be a moment of introspection. I know when I was talking about like your home and being like, you might need more reassurance from yourself, but maybe outward. Once I'm looking at like really everything here, and now that the hermit has come up too, there's like only one person in all of these cards. There's plenty of cards that have more than one person.
Yeah.
And again, not everybody reads that way, but I like read into every little detail. I'm a very detail oriented person. I think just some introspection needs to be done. And like more than just like, I'm going to take today to like think about it. And then you're like,
made my
TikToking,
decision.
and you're like doing stuff.
Yeah.
You like actually have to be like, okay, this is what I want. And this is why. Again, like, the call's coming from inside the house. I think you kind of already know, but really like maybe you do like have to write it down. Maybe like if you're a visual person, you have to like do a little vision board moment. Like I know these things have kind of been like blown up and like people might think it's like cheesy or chuggy because I am a millennial, so don't come at me. But like that can be really helpful to kind of figure out like where you're going to go.
Yeah.
But definitely some introspection. There is on this particular card, like a little skull in the corner. To me, that usually means like a shift, a change, an ending of something. That could literally be like an internal belief system though. Like it could be like, oh, I thought I couldn't do it, and that's why I'm not doing it. Maybe that's ending and you're putting that to rest.
Okay.
But like something needs to change.
Yeah.
For you to like make this decision wholeheartedly.
Yeah, I think part of that is just not making decisions. I'm so good at that. Like that's one thing I always say is like honestly just making a decision sometimes is what stops me from doing things because I go back and forth so long that I'm like I'm just not going to do it now because I just didn't make a decision. Sure. I feel like that could be that of just like I need to stop doing that too. I say that all the time. I'm like me and Evan will be like, oh, where should we go to eat? And that decision seriously takes us so long that I'm like, bro, let's not eat today. Like,
this is Evan by the time you get to the restaurant.
Yeah.
Davidson.
Yeah.
That is,
But he is just as bad as me at making decisions too. So I'm like, we need to figure, one of us has to make decisions
sure.
here. But yeah.
Sometimes that's because there's too many options though too.
Yeah.
So maybe we need to like zoom it a little bit. Another like image that's important on this card is like he's technically in the dark and has like that little lantern with like a little star. Again, those stars are used in the deck as like pieces of knowledge. So it's like you're kind of going to be like lighting your own way, but again, you're kind of like zooming in a little bit.
Okay.
So if you have like 15 ideas that you have to go through, maybe we need to like chip them down a little bit.
Yeah.
Or like compartmentalize them. Like I'm sure there are things that can go together.
Yeah.
But like definitely like we're kind of like turning down the light, like going in. Yeah, you can only see so much at a time with a lantern. And I think that's kind of like the visual way to think about how you're going to walk through this.
Okay. I like that.
Me too.
I need to do that. That's great advice.
That is great advice. Thank you.
I hope I follow it.
Me too. That is also like part of this that is so hard. And that also comes back to like this work aspect is like, I can tell you all of this and like, you then have the free will to do whatever you want. Yeah. That's also why I'm like, I'm not seeing the future personally. Right. I'm sure there are people out there who can. I'm not here to dispute that either, but that's not me.
Yeah.
Like, we kind of have this like dance between like free will and fate every single day. Yeah. If you want to do the work, good on ya. If not, these cards are going to come up again for you next time we do this.
Hopefully next time it'll just all be reversed.
Everything's going to be good. Everything's going to be right side up and chillin'. 100%. Beautiful.
Yeah, no, that was good.
I love.
Should I do anything else? Any more detail?
I don't know. There's so many.
Do so hers. I'll look up the birth thing.
This is so fun and exciting. And yeah, if anyone thinks of any like specific questions, we can kind of like do that at the end too, or like, what do you see for the podcast? Yeah, all that kind of fun stuff. Will it rain on my wedding day?
Ooh,
actually, that's a Farmer's Almanac question.
Right, I just
did
found
you look
that
it
out.
Oh, I love that.
I just found that out.
This is also Elena. I'm not coming for your spot, but I might now be the biggest witch on this podcast. I'm so sorry.
That actually.
I'm not trying to blow up your spot, girl. But also, welcome to the coven. I guess we're all one now.
Exactly. That's what the spooky season is for.
Ooh. Well, I knew something was going to happen here on this day. Nope, everything's fine. I will say. There are like spooky looking cards on the table right now, so let's take a breath. Everything's fine.
You might need to hold my hand. Hey?
There might be some hand holding. It's gonna be fine though. But yours is definitely, which to be honest, it could be like an openness thing too. Like maybe whoever's out there was like knew that you were ready to do some of this stuff, so we're gonna get into it. It's gonna be fine. All right. Let's start with your work. Okay. This is very, I don't want to say funny, but like it feels like it works. You got the 3 of Pentacles, which is like the card of collaboration. It's people working together. The Pentacles are like literally gold coins. So like money, we love that. It's like very like a physical card of like your work will probably, I don't want to say always, but at least like for now, for the foreseeable future, will be group efforts. So like, let's say if you were thinking about like starting a solo project, either you're gonna like need a team with you to do the solo project, or like it's a time to stay with community.
I see.
That's where the money's gonna come from.
I see.
I see.
No, that makes sense. I feel like honestly, because I work a corporate job as well as this, and I feel like sometimes I always want to be a collaborator, but I'm very like, I like to stay in my own lane. I like to like just grind and do the work my own. Totally. And recently I've been challenging myself to be more collaborative. So I think it's interesting that this car popped up because it's something that like it doesn't come easy for me, I don't think. Not that I'm a bad collaborator, but the easy thing for me to do is just to take all of the work, do it myself and not bring as many people in. Yeah. And recently I've been trying to put like my like, okay, let's give yourself a challenge. Let's work with others.
Yes.
So that feels very real to me right now.
That is very real. And a lot of times, like, again, like back to Hailie's reading, you were like, yes, this is all stuff that like I kind of already know. Like sometimes they're just like, here to affirm what you're feeling.
Yeah.
So if you're like, I'm going to challenge myself and put myself out there, they are saying like, yes, continue to do that. That is the correct move at this time. And I love that. And again, that's like where like the good abundance vibes are coming to. I know I said money, but like it can be other stuff too.
Yeah.
Happiness.
Happiness.
Yeah. Well, and also just like growth. It sounds like that's like a huge growth thing for you because even though you're talking about it specifically in your corporate life, that's going to bleed into other areas of your life too, which is sick.
Right.
Both your jobs are collaborative.
They are very collaborative. This is, work is, and with work, I've like debated staying in like the lane of like an expert doer or going into like a leadership role where that would be very team oriented and you're focusing on the team, not necessarily yourself. So I find that to be interesting.
I agree.
That's
agree.
Wild.
So I just sometimes I will pull like a clarification if someone brings up something that I'm like, like okay, they're thinking about something that has to do with this specifically. Like, what do we think about that? Give us some more info. You got the Wheel of Fortune reversed.
What does that mean?
Again, like you're kind of in this moment where you're trying to decide like which way should I go. They're kind of telling you like the world is your oyster, like the wheel is going to continue to turn like no matter the decision you make. So it just depends, like, are you in a moment where you want to like step up and like really grow and do something kind of bold? Or are you in a moment where you're like, you know what, like, yes, I can challenge myself in this current position and that feels fine for now.
Yeah.
But they're kind of like leaving it in your hands. In this card, there is like 4 kind of spirit guides shown behind the main figure. They're letting you know that like whatever decision you do make, they're going to back you up. So like not a ton of pressure on it, but like if you're thinking about it, they're going to help you out with whichever one you decide.
Love that.
Me too. That's very exciting stuff. I like that. I like that for you.
Thank you.
What I don't love is the next one.
Me neither.
Okay, it is reversed.
It looks terrifying.
I know. It's one of those. It's like a... Everybody feels a different way about it. I just like took a class over the weekend and thank God I did. Because she was like, you know what? Everyone is always talking crap about the Tower card. That's what's coming. If there's any like tarot people who are listening to this, they're all like, oh, the Tower. No. But like, let's not freak anybody out. It's totally fine. And it is reversed. So like, this is kind of giving error on the side of caution vibes. Also, we moved to her money area. Sorry, I just started talking because the card is a spooky one. This person is like falling from a tower that has been like, there's like a storm. It's been shaken up. It's kind of like a big, huge, irreparable change that you can't help.
Okay.
Like it's something that's just going to happen.
Okay.
The thing that comes with it, though, is like the amount of knowledge that you're going to gain from the situation is going to kind of like outweigh whatever bad stuff possibly happens.
Okay.
Again, it's more of like a cautionary thing. If it were right side up, I'd be like, how are you investing? Are you in credit card debt? What is happening? Right?
Put a pause
Like,
through it
delete all the shopping apps from your phone. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh my gosh, maybe I should.
Maybe I should. I also think it's really important that on this specific card that I have, there's like kind of like a mask over the main person's face. It can also be like a time of like unmasking, which again, like that just kind of comes with change. Sometimes like there's another mask on underneath it. Like you never know. But like there is some kind of like shakeup that could possibly happen. I wonder how much it's tied to like that decision that you're thinking about with your work. But like, just be aware. Like be good about your money.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. I'm just
not going on Amazon for a while.
Right. It's fine. It's okay. I pulled a clarifier because again, I was like, I just need a little more information and we need to just make sure everything's fine. 10 of Wands. So
he looks scared too.
He's been through a lot, you know, and that's okay. In like numerology talk, I'm like not super big into it, but like talking about cycles and in the tarot, they only go up to the number 10. So it means that you're kind of like at the end of a cycle. So maybe this is like, okay, like if you were maybe having money problems, maybe that's what's coming to an end. Because again, like the tower, it's some kind of ending.
Yeah.
And it's something that you can't necessarily control. You know, maybe it's something good. But the Ten of Wands, he's kind of like been on a journey and he's bringing some stuff with him.
Okay.
Again, like, it's like you can use this to light a fire type of vibe. He has like 10 sticks in his bag, just because if you're listening to this, you can't see it. But like, you can use that to kind of kickstart something.
Okay.
If you want to.
I see.
But again, it's like we're kind of coming to the close of something here.
Good. Maybe it's my spending habits.
Well, I was thinking.
Oh, Hailie wants the pipe.
I was
thinking. See what
thinking.
you're thinking.
Could it be that, like, let's say if she was trying to buy a house.
Theoretically.
And it didn't work out for unforeseeable reasons.
Could that be
what that is? And then that was like avoided, or
it could be
coming to an
the
end.
house that we wanted to buy was over the budget of what we wanted to spend on the house, but we're not getting that house.
Okay.
And we're thinking smarter now about our budgeting when it comes to purchasing a house.
100%.
That's crazy.
I don't know. I was thinking maybe you already avoided it. Maybe you already did avoid
Again, this is why
I was kind of
going
hoping.
together is
Thank
cool.
you for that, Hailie.
We always need a second opinion. No, but like for real, like let's put this directly into like house money stuff, because that's huge, serious business.
Yeah, that's big. That's big girl money.
Oh, that's very big girl money.
I'm still a kid,
especially now.
So I am just a 12-year-old little lass in my 20s.
Yes.
There's nothing to see here.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe it's more of a reminder from them of like, this could have been you.
That would have been me.
That could have been her.
That really could have been me.
And then this is giving, take this with you.
Yeah.
Remember this. Remember who you are. It comes back. No, but like literally, like don't
do that to myself.
You don't need to do that to yourself.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep those.
Okay.
For a minute, I was like, maybe this has to do with that. I'm gonna keep holding on to them. They might go there, but yeah. I have to. I was like, they were like, just do it. Flip us over. Okay, 5 of Wands. That, again, looks like something. There's a bunch of boys fighting with sticks on a card. Okay. It looks like there's it's more of like an annoyance, though. Because, again, like, there's sticks. They're kind of play fighting type of thing. Buying a house is annoying. Justice card, though. Yes.
She my girl?
Justice will be served. This is giving you, or almost in a position, you probably really liked the house. It, like, felt so special.
Oh, my God.
I could see myself being there.
Yeah.
I cried multiple times.
Been there. This is totally
like it was deep. It was very deep. Like I was
took
like,
it like a breakup.
I was getting stressed out. I was like, stop! Don't get your hopes up. This market's wild.
It
she
is.
was like,
no, it 100% is. All of that is very real, and I love that the Justice card came out too, because that's so like heavy hitting. Of like, don't worry, we know your heart was literally broken.
It was,
but like,
something
better is coming. Like that's what I'm hearing is like if we heed the warning
and we learned
and we take it with us, are we annoyed through the process a little bit?
Yeah.
But like you come out on top vibes.
Let's go.
This is like everybody fighting over there was like 15
bidding
offers.
Yeah, no, there were 6 total offers. There's 5 people there.
You're the 6th.
We're the 6th. Those are the other people fighting.
You're crying with your broken
I was
stick.
crying.
They already kicked us out. This is so bad.
We're not there.
Yeah, 100%. Also, just like back to like being very detail oriented. She has that little balance with her. And obviously like that's how in America we depict justice, is like those scales. I think that also has a lot to do, because again, we are like still talking in your money area. Like I think that is like, make sure you're going to be balanced.
Right.
Because if not, you're going to go out of whack. And again, then the tower kind of becomes the prophecy for your money.
Right.
So we're going to be careful.
Sense.
This is such home buying vibes though.
I feel that.
I'm going to write a book one day that's like, if you see these 4 cards together, it's giving
you're buying a
home.
Seriously. That's the first thing I thought of when you said that for her. I was like,
it was the
calm
house.
down.
Your heart.
Down.
That's very
That's
fun.
why I need you here with me.
100%. I was like getting a little warm and I was like, there's something more here, but I cannot figure out what it is. And I'm going to move on because I don't know. There's something.
She's like freaking out.
I'm like, what is it?
What could it
What's
be?
happening?
Hailie saves the day per usual.
Yeah.
That's why we have to keep those collaborations.
Yes. That's why I'm here.
It's all making sense.
Yes. Okay.
Oh gosh.
Also, now I'm laughing even more. I should have looked at, especially when you brought up the home, I should have looked ahead to her home card. That's funny. Okay. So we're going to stop in the love area first.
Yay.
Again, a reversal, but like this is not a super cute fun card. So again, it's reverse. It's kind of like a warning. So she got the death card. Bum, bum, bum.
Why
Spooky
does
season.
always-
It's fine. Does it come up for you all the time?
I don't know.
Well, like the last thing we told you right before this, where we
Yeah.
got the tarot readings, they said like
I
negative
was-
things about
Yeah.
her relationship.
My love
and she's like,
life.
my
Oh my
relationship
God,
is
you're right.
perfect.
It's fine. Okay, no. And this is not a negative thing about your relationship.
Okay.
But it does like have to do with like possible change in some way. Like death obviously is an ending. Things have to end to start. But I don't think it's like your actual relationship necessarily. It could be the way that you communicate. It could be, I mean, technically a chapter of your relationship is going to die if you move in together. Again, I'm like jumping 30 steps ahead, but I'm assuming if you're buying a home and you're in love with somebody, like it's possible that could be next steps.
Yeah.
So it could very well them just be like, well, yeah, like of course it's going to be a new chapter and like it's new. That's like change is scary for everyone. There is like two people depicted on the card. One of them is kind of like mourning in a way, but that could also be, I hear like you're mourning how things used to be because like it will be different. Like you will be with each other all the time. You are going to learn so much about each other. It's almost like I hear like the image of him now, like it will be altered.
Yeah.
Which again, it's like you can't go through that type of change with someone and expect that to not happen.
Right.
But like it might be more shocking than you thought it was. But it also could be like,
it's true.
Oh my God, like I'm mind blown at how great this is. Like that's kind
could
of the
be
thing.
good. Could be bad.
But there's definitely change.
That's good to know though.
100%. Knowledge is power, baby.
Now you're equipped.
Yeah,
You're
now I'm
equipped.
ready.
I am kind of curious. Two of Wands. Again, reversed. So this person is also kind of like looking outward. I know we were talking about the Three of Wands in Hailie's rating, but this person is like the ruler of his kingdom and he's like looking to the shore to be like, where are my people? And he's like reminded like, again, like he built this kingdom through like his passions and all that stuff. Like this relationship was like built on like the passion you guys had for each other. And like, of course, you've like worked on it, nurtured it, it's grown. But like, we need to like make sure the foundation is like good.
Right.
Set.
Ready to go.
All that good stuff. Ready to go.
I see.
And again, it could be like, I wonder if maybe like your partner isn't like, I don't want to say taking it seriously, but like doesn't see it as like such a big deal.
I see.
Kind of. It could also be like maybe you're super neat and like things a certain way and like he's the opposite or vice versa. Like there's probably like some of that's going to be coming up, but like there is kind of like this lack of like seeing eye to eye about the next step.
I see. That makes sense.
Okay. Do you feel good about your love area?
I do.
All right, let's move on to your house.
Yay.
We have
Maybe yay.
Reversal.
So many reversals.
I know. It's okay. Oh, well, only 3. It's fine. Except we won't talk about those. A couple of the clarifying too. But so you have strength reversed. So this is just, again, remembering. I know we went on this whole tangent about like remembering like what you went through and like taking that with you so you don't make a bad decision again. This is you becoming like strong and like confident in what you decide. So whether that is like, well, maybe I do have a little more money because I am going to take that other job.
Yeah.
And if I'm in leadership, then I'm going to make more money and it's going to be more comfortable.
Yeah.
But you have to be the one who like knows that and decides that. And then once you do decide, that's it.
Yeah.
And you're like, yep, that's what's happening. That's who I am. That's where we're going. She is like petting this lion that she literally tamed. And that is like her strength inside. It kind of goes back to like hard and soft, how we were talking about for Hailie. She has like some roses in her hair and she's just like really feeling herself and just like knows that where she's like where she needs to be.
I love that.
So yeah, again, if we're talking about cups pouring into each other,
It's happening.
Yep. These turning so that everything can be where it needs to go.
I love that.
Yes, I know. Curious. Yeah. Queen of Wands for your home. And it's upright, people. No, the reversal. Stop.
Let's go.
Love her. She has great energy. She is like the sun to people. Like people love to be around her. She's just like warm. She like always has a companion, whether that is like an animal or it is like your friends, your family. She's always like rolling with a crew. She doesn't have to show up alone, not because she can't, but because like she likes to include others and people like to be around her. So again, I feel like, I don't know if you are like excited to like host when you get a house, like if that's what's really exciting, but it is giving like, oh my God, I got the coolest house. Like you have to come see it. We're having theme parties. We're doing bachelor. I was going to say Mondays, but I guess for that geriatric man, it's Thursdays. Shout out Jerry. Yeah, I think that once you do get like your house, you really get to step into this moment of like, okay, this is who I am. And I'm like really feeling good. And now I get to like show everybody.
I'm excited.
I am too. That's
like
very
that.
exciting.
It is very me. I love a themed party.
Very her.
That is very you.
And again, her little lions. There's
a lot of lions.
Well, I think that like there's like really something that's in you that I don't know if you ignore it or don't believe it, but like you are like a very brave, strong person. And like whether that means again, like we're leading people or like you're just like listening and leading to yourself, like kudos to you.
Thank you.
I feel like they were like, let's help her out because this reading has been a little rough. I bet you Haley's also like, mine was like so boring. What is this?
Hers is intense.
Actually, maybe you're pumped that yours was boring.
Mine was like just so spot on. Like, you're worried about work.
You're worried about
you need to make decisions.
Remember who you are if you even know who that hoe is.
That's so funny.
Oh my God. Okay, let's look at your health.
Yay.
Page of Cups. Again, this is giving kind of like internal health stuff, like mental things. It's giving we are working with emotions more.
Yeah.
Pages are like the beginning of a journey. It's kind of like the infant stage of things. So I don't know if you are becoming more in tune with your emotions or if you have always been an emotional person, you're actually figuring out how to like express them in a productive way instead of just like outbursting, whether that's crying, screaming, laughing, whatever it is.
All of the above.
All of the check. This is definitely like we're going to be stepping into a time, again, once everything kind of falls into place, where you're just like sound. And you're like, okay, like, again, I know who I am. I know what my strengths are. And I'm going to like play into those and feed into those. And instead of like reacting, I'm going to be responding. That's something that like me, myself, I am working on a lot.
Yeah.
I feel like very connected to the Page of Cups right now because it is kind of that like dance of, okay, am I like outbursting because I like actually like mean it or like what is happening here?
Right. I think that's interesting that you say all of that and the emotional piece because I feel like I've been recognizing more recently, as of very recently, when I am acting out of emotion.
Totally.
Because I feel like I've had that response in like a couple different situations recently where I'd be like, I think I am being emotional about X, Y, and Z.
Totally.
Maybe.
And instead I'm acting mad about something that's not related.
Yeah.
We just had this discussion.
We did.
They said, at you, girl.
Yep, that's me.
At
Yeah,
you.
but that's funny. I see that.
Yeah, that's very me.
It's good.
Especially right now.
That's a positive thing.
That is a positive thing. And you know what?
Are they positive too?
This is fantastic. The 10 of Pentacles. Was it you who I was like, I think legacy is going to come up?
No.
Hailie, that's funny.
Legacy.
This is the legacy card. I was like, it's coming up somewhere. I brought it out. Okay. 10 of Pentacles. I'm almost feeling like, and again, I don't know you, your background, your family, anything. I don't know if like the emotional thing is different with like the older generations of your family, but this is giving like the knowingness that you have now about your emotions and how you act and react or respond. This is something that is like literally going to like shift things for like you, your children, generations type of thing. Like that is something that
Look at me
seems
go.
to be, no, 100%. That's like really serious stuff of like,
Thanks.
you have the power to change things. I am kind of curious, and again, not everybody reads this way, but there's 2 different sections to the tarot deck. There's like the majors and the minors. There's only 22 majors in the deck. There's 78 cards total. If you get more than like 3 majors in a reading, it's usually like a different reading. And you did get more than 3 majors, and I kind of want to know if it has to do with your legacy. So I'm going to pull those aside in the way that they came out.
The major cards.
Majors.
Yep, so we're going to pull those. Goodness gracious, and they're almost all reversed because there's a lot of work that you're doing in this lifetime. Okay, so the way that this reading kind of shakes out, and again, not everybody reads this way, but I really think that a lot of times it's really helpful. So either if you believe in past lives, this is something that like you have been trying to learn in the past. If you don't believe in past lives and this were to happen to you in a reading, it's something that you missed earlier in this current life if you're not on that train. So basically in previous lives, you have like been through like some really probably not great things that you had no control over. That caused you to like lose probably people, but like a lot of things in your life, which made you feel out of control. But if you can like take these things into account in this life and really like take accountability and like be who you are and who you want to be, and again, like make these changes that are going to create a legacy for you for the rest of your life, you do like finally get to learn the lesson, and like whatever happens in this life feels to you like justice for the hardship that you were put through in a previous life. This is a very deep reading. I did not.
I was almost gonna cry.
Shady to just a little spooky very quickly. I always be making people cry. I'm so sorry.
I started blinking a lot to
You're
try
like,
to get
suck them back in my face, please. No, but like seriously. And again, like even though this is technically like a past life thing, even if this might speak more to like something that happened to you earlier in life, if you have been through really hard times and like lost a lot and fell out of control, like just know that if you do really like take this time to work on yourself, like you're going to feel like justice is really served and you get to live like a really, really dope life.
Thank you.
You are so welcome.
That's weird. Again, okay, so then this brings Evan into the conversation. I don't know if you were thinking this, but Evan recently said, he goes, Brittany, you're a Disney adult, and I read online that Disney adults have a lot of mental illness. Are you okay?
He said it that
No, maybe not that direct.
You
He
said
was
that
much
was the real
nicer
message,
about it.
though.
But that's what I took away from it. I go, Evan, you're right, but I'm fine. I'm okay.
Yeah, he's like, I just wanted to ask, like, are you okay?
Yeah.
And she was like,
Duh.
she
Like
was
in the nicest way possible.
She's
No, of
like,
course.
what?
I was
You
like,
okay?
I was
Question
like,
mark.
Yeah. She's like, why?
I am okay, Evan. Thank you.
I can't.
I am now.
I was
see-
about to say
yeah.
you are now. And
Yeah.
I feel like they're letting you know, like, yeah, you are okay and you're going to continue to be okay. I almost feel like, and maybe the legacy piece is drawing me to that too, but like, I don't know if you had to like grow up really fast or like you were like more mature for your age or something, but I almost hear like you can like take some time to chill with your inner child sometimes. Like do shit that's just like silly and fun.
I could go to Disney World when I want to go to Disney World. That's what 100%. She's saying.
And like, I think that is like how like the whole Disney adult thing kind of comes out for a lot of people is like, if that's what makes you feel like fun and silly and whatever, let it happen.
Do it up.
Sorry to anybody who disagrees, but
I feel like even how we do like the spooky season and we get so into like stuff like that.
Things.
Like, I mean, half the time we're watching cartoons from our childhood.
That's very true.
But yeah, I definitely see that. And I feel like all that's good. That's
it
positive.
is all good.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, even when the scary cards come out.
Yeah, at least it's not in reverse and it's not getting scarier along the way.
No, 100%. Yeah, no, things are like, it seems like you're moving in the right direction. And I hope that you feel that.
Thank you.
I completely forgot to look at like your bottom card in the beginning because I was so shook by these other cards.
Me too.
But to like circle back to that, just to kind of like close that out, the Queen of Pentacles, again, she's like Queen of Wands, Queen of Pentacles, very cool. But she has more like maternal energy. So like if that is something that like you do want to do in the future, they're kind of letting you know like, that's in you too. Like, I know that I've been talking about like this braveness, like this lion, all that situation coming out. But like, there is a maternal side to you that is in there. And like, that might be scary to like feel that part of you. But she's like strong and like she will come out when you need her to. You can call on her whenever.
That's intense. I don't know if you have anything to say, but
no,
there was a lot of eye contact going on in the room.
No, I feel like we've talked about that too.
Yeah.
Interesting. I feel yours was so
this was a
deep.
ride. I
This
loved it.
was a ride.
I loved it so much.
I'm so glad.
No,
It can
this
get
was such a
spooky
good.
sometimes.
I feel like this is so good. Like 180 from your
This
last
was
experience.
night and day from my last experience. My last experience, he like pulled the cards, said 2 things about each of them, made me hate my life, and I was like, what?
He's
Where
like, your life is over. You're
Yeah.
breaking up with your boyfriend,
and I'll
get
see you
out.
later.
That is like so like, if we're gonna just touch on like tarot ethics, in my opinion, I again took this class over the weekend that was literally about all of that.
Yeah.
That is like so irresponsible as a reader to do that. Like, of course, sometimes like quote unquote bad stuff or scary stuff comes up, but to just like rock somebody's world and then be like, peace, good luck,
there was
sucker.
like barely
that's
enough
not
context
cute.
to scare me, but not enough context to make me understand half of why it was happening.
No, that's why we clarify.
Yeah.
This was amazing.
Again, I do be talking, but like, we gotta get in there.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't like questions to be left unanswered if you're gonna come and do something like this. Like,
Yeah.
you should get up after a reading and feel like, okay. Like,
Right.
that knowledge is power piece that I was saying earlier, like, that's really what tarot reading should be, is that you come in, you learn some stuff, usually just like about yourself and about your situation. And then like you can feel confident and empowered to like move on into the next steps.
I love it. Also, one last thing on all of
Bring
this.
it out. What's up?
Honestly, with the reading, I think it made sense that this card you didn't read at the beginning and you read it at the end,
I kind of agree with you.
which is nuts.
Yeah, I feel
Like
that
it makes
too.
it makes it all make sense.
It just like locks it all in.
Yeah.
It was the little
Oh,
bow
got
on
the
top.
chills.
Chills all
Yeah.
the time.
All right, so we are gonna do our birth cards.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So
These correspond with your birthdays. So basically, I guess I'll tell you how you would do it in case anyone else wants to do it. You can find out what your tarot birth card would be. You basically add up all of the numbers in your birthday, like as single digits. So not like 12 plus 25, like
1
the single
plus
digits.
2.
Yep.
Okay.
Add all those together until you get less than, it must be 22, because you only are going to get a major arcana card.
Okay.
Or arcana. Everyone says it differently. I've been trying to avoid that word by saying majors and minors, and I did it. Darn it. Okay.
Dang.
So, Hailie, you got the lovers for
That's
your card.
crazy.
So cute.
You're like, not me. But I also think sometimes, like, yes, these are the cards that are assigned to our birthdays, but sometimes I think it's because that's something that we need to work on in this life.
Okay.
Because technically, like, you could have been assigned any birth date when you came out.
Right.
So to me, sometimes when I'm looking at them, it more feels like this is going to be the challenge of your life.
Right.
And like, maybe it is hard for you to like you were saying, like receive affection or show affection or what it is. Like, it's just something that you need to keep in mind as you work through life. But like, it's in there. It's also like kind of like a happy family card where like
Cute.
it is
It is
cute.
cute.
And you got roses again on this card, which
Ooh.
again, I do like know Hailie a little bit. Spoiler. Spoiler alert. But like, I do think that you have like a pretty like interesting hold on like that hard and soft thing. So maybe like make sure we're like playing to both a little bit.
Yeah. I could see that. I always talk about it on the podcast too. I'm like, I don't do PDA. And like, it's like a big joke that like, do I even like, are we going to kiss at our wedding? Like,
You're going to shake hands.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
so I definitely
They might.
see that. I know, seriously, my sister like recently texted me and she's like, so are you going to kiss at your wedding or?
I'm shocked she wasn't like, we're going to orchestrate a Dove release or
Oh my gosh.
something that's going to cover you so you can kiss behind
No one will
it.
see. The doves will cover
Yeah,
it.
no one will
She would do
know.
something like that.
She'll pull something
But I
out.
also think it's like too, just like giving and receiving compliments and
Yeah.
like just different kinds of, I could see that. But you know, I work on it.
100%. You can work on it. It's not a big
Exactly.
deal. That's a cute card to have, though. Like, it's sweet. At least you didn't get, like, the death card or the
Yeah,
tower card. Like, let's be honest. Let's not
Yeah.
complain about the lovers, Hailie.
People can get the death card for their
I mean, it's a
birthday?
major,
That's-
technically. So that,
Dang.
I mean,
Wow.
I don't know anyone.
Because they didn't
But
make
it's
it.
out there. Yeah, you're right. They're all gone. I could never.
That's
No,
so
I'm
tough.
not your jaw on the literal floor.
Was.
Oh,
I'm just
God.
thankful that wasn't mine. It could have been.
No, you
killing
were
me.
happy about yours.
Yeah.
I know, because you got the hermit.
I am.
Which is also what I am, which I probably already said. But
Hermit
whatever.
girls.
I love the hermit. Again, it's like a very introspective thing. It's like you kind of like to chill on your couch, back to your hosting thing. Like that's where you shine.
Yeah.
Is like when you're in your element. Whether that literally means you're home or like whatever for you is like your element.
Right.
We all have like different ones. You
Mhm.
can adapt. I'm sure you're a very adaptable person. But like, again, you got it. Like you just
Heck
need to
yeah.
look within and you're almost like a guiding light for other people too. Like he has that little lantern. You're showing the way if you want to.
I do what I can.
Do what I can.
Out here doing
It's so serious.
doing the most.
Doing so much of the most.
Those are cute. Okay,
They are
so
cute.
you wanted that. I wasn't so sure, but now it kind of makes sense actually.
I think it's sweet.
Yeah.
Like obviously again, it's nothing bad, but like I don't know. And maybe it's something that you'll connect to later in life too.
Yeah.
Like, maybe you hit a certain age and you're just like, oh, I'm just like so much more open to that. Like
Yeah.
maybe if you
I
want to
could
have
see
kids
that.
one day, like
Yeah.
that's what like cracks your chest open and it's just like, oh,
I could see that.
I could see that happening.
me
Yeah.
too.
Or my dogs.
Them
Well,
That's
too.
the only time.
Maybe
That's the
if
only
we
time
can
you
get
see that
Lonnie
side.
undepressed,
Exactly.
then yes, 100%.
Oh my
But
gosh.
yeah, it's just like the love is in you. It'll come out at some point.
Yeah. Should we close out with your spooky story?
Yeah.
The spooky story. Yeah.
Ooh.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Where do we?
I don't know. I know you said at the beginning, like sometimes you like feel like you receive messages or like,
Sure.
have you ever had something that kind of scared you?
Not that. I shouldn't say scared. I will say like there has been a couple times where like people have come to get tarot readings and I'm like, there's someone with them. Like I had one of my clients, and again, this is like, I would never put anyone on blast. Like tarot is like semi-confidential. Like, you know,
Right.
Mhm.
I'll tell my client that I'm telling this story. I know she won't care. But she came in and I'm like pretty immediately like feeling something. Like my body
Yeah.
has like a pretty like quick trigger. So I'm like a little bit warm and like my thoughts are kind of swirly. And I just like point blank, I like have just met this woman. I go, not to be weird, but like, is there usually someone who like comes with you when you go to these kinds of things? She had already told me that this wasn't her first reading. And she was like, yes, and I bet I know exactly who it is, and it's not going to be the person that I want it to be.
Oh
It's
my
always,
God.
quote unquote, the wrong one. And I was like, all right, well, like, let's get into it. Like, I think it's a male. I was like, and he's like an older gentleman. And she's like, it's always my dad. And I was
Oh my gosh.
dang it. And I was like, okay, well, like, who did you want it to be? And she's like, my mom.
Oh
She's
my
like, I just
God.
want to talk to my mom. And it's always my dad.
Dang.
So, like, that was a little bit spooky. I'm obviously not going to get into the details of that. But, like,
Right.
yes, some spookier things happened, like, with that appointment because he was there, like,
Right.
very heavily facilitating. I will also say, I'm not, like, seeing him. I'm not like, there's a man wearing a jean jacket. He's smoking a cigar and he's wearing a fedora. Like, it's not that vibe.
Yeah.
But I'm like, there's someone or something here.
Yeah,
like,
you just
let's
feel
get
it.
into it.
Yeah.
For sure. I talked to, like, somebody's sister who had, like, passed when she was pretty young. And I was, like, pretty sure that I knew it was her. I was, like, shuffling the cards. I did, like, free 3-card readings on Snapchat when I first started. Just to, like,
Really?
That's so
yeah, because I
cool.
wanted to, like,
That is
just get
cool.
better. And, like, the more time you spend with your cards, like, the better communication you have. So, like, friends and family, I'd be like, okay, like, I'm going to do readings for the next, like, hour. Let me know if you want one.
Yeah.
So one of my clients, again, was like, yeah, do it. And I'm, like, shuffling her cards, and, like, they go everywhere. And all of a sudden, my heart is, like, pounding. And I'm, like, feeling like a kid. And I kind of, like, am hearing, like, kid giggles. And, again, like, I know this client pretty well. And I text her, and I go, I know you have a sister who's passed. Like, she was decently young when she passed, wasn't she? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, okay, like, and this was my first experience with this happening, and I, like, didn't know what to do. I was like, okay, like, do you feel comfortable if I, like, talk to her? I was like, I don't know, but it seems like she wants to talk. So she's like, yeah, go for it. See what happens. So I'm literally in my house by myself, and, like, I felt so silly because, again, I've never done this before in this way. And I just start talking out loud. And I'm like, hey, girl. So I think I know who you are. I think you're so-and-so's sister. And I just, like, get this, like, hot wave of chills, which, like, obviously that sounds nuts because it is. I, like, feel hot, but, like, my hair is standing up. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm like, I don't know if you've communicated like this before. Because, again, I don't want to, like, know a lot of information. I don't want to call my client and been like, has she shown up before? Have you guys tried to contact her? Because, you know, some families will go to mediums and whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know if you know how this works. You got really excited, I think, when I was first shuffling the cards, and I think you have a lot to say.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm going to do is, like, let's start slow. I said, I want you to show me 3 cards, and we're going to start there. I said, because I think you have a lot. So I'm shuffling, doing the thing. The first card that comes out is 2 sisters playing in a field. I think I forget which one. One of the cups card. I feel like it's a 6 or the 7. And they're, like, playing in a flower field. They're, like, picking blue flowers. And I'm like, okay. And I'm just, again, sitting there. Because, of course, like, I know what that means in tarot. But, like,
What is she
what are you
trying to
tell
say?
me?
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm just, like, sitting there. And, again, when I, like, hear things, it's, like, my own voice. I'm not, like, hearing, like, an older gentleman or a little girl. Like, it's
Right.
just, like, something inside that I, for some reason, like, know is not myself.
Yeah.
So I'm like, they haven't come to see you in a long time, and you want them to bring you flowers. Like, it's been a long time since they've done that, and that's how you guys spend time together. So, like, I'm taking that into account. I kind of forget what the other card, I think she actually got the Tower, because I was like, why would you do this to me?
Yeah.
Like, what is that?
Yeah.
But, like, there was some stuff that was going on with that person that, like, I was like, okay, I know what you meant there. I forget what the other one was, but again, I was like, okay, like, because I know this person. I'm like, she's a lash client. When you do lashes, like, people be telling you things.
Yeah.
So, like,
that's how we know each other. And we did talk a lot. And that's why I was like, I kept telling her, I'm like, no, she's, like, the best. And she's like, what do you, like, were you guys friends? I'm like, well, she did my lashes. So, like, you have no choice but to, like, talk to each
it's
other.
true. You were locked in a room with me for hours, girl.
But also, I'm not going to lie, I was guilty of, like, falling asleep a lot.
100%. Like, as you should, though.
Yes.
She was
Oh
a
my
napper.
gosh. I was such a napper.
I
'cause,
would
like,
be a napper.
I
I've
would
never gotten
randomly,
my
like,
lashes done,
I
but-
would randomly, like,
would be.
scare the shit out of myself and be like, oh, and I'd, like, try to open my eye and you'd be like, hey.
Yeah. I'm like,
Careful.
you're in the lash room. Everything gonna
Remain
burn your
calm.
eye. Right? I'm like, do not try to sit up.
Yeah.
Wild.
But that's funny. So
Yeah,
you got,
so, like,
you
I knew some
yeah.
stuff, so I, like, connected with her, and I mostly, what I'm going to focus on for this story to, like, you know, keep her privacy to her privacy, was like that flower component. So I'm like, hey, like, not to be that guy, but have you not gone to see her in a while? And she was like, no, it's been a long time. She goes, but I was literally just talking to my mom this morning. It was a holiday weekend. It must have been like Memorial Day coming up or Labor Day. She was like, we're going to go on Monday and we're going to bring flowers to her grave. And I had not told her the flower part yet. And I was like, yes.
Good thinking.
Yeah.
I was like, she would love that. And then she randomly kind of was like, oh, I was also thinking about like planting her favorite flower in my front yard. And I'm like, do that. So that happens. She ends up, you know, either Snapchatting me or sending me a message. She's like, you're not going to believe this. Because, of course, that can't be the end of the spooky story.
Right.
That wasn't enough spookiness. She goes, I just got off the phone with my mom. And she had gotten a text from one of her friends, I guess, like, however many years ago, I'm going to say, like, between 7 and 10. One of her friends had done, like, a bike race in honor of her sister. She had passed away from cancer as a child. So it was, like, some kind of cancer ride in New York where the race finished in Times Square. And as part of the race, you got to, like, turn in a photo of the person you were riding for, and they would put their picture up in Times Square. So, like, when you rode in, you were, like, seeing the faces of, like, why we were doing this.
Yeah.
And the mom had gotten a text from the friend who did that race. It was the anniversary, like, of that race happening. So when she woke up that morning, she got a picture of her daughter in Times Square on her phone. So she was like, it's just weird that she chose today to, like, come and talk because, like, we were already thinking about her a lot. Yeah. And I kind of feel like it was confirmation of, like, like,
she's
I'm here and, like, think about me more. And, like, I want to be there. And, like, this was when I had to do lashes out of my house for a month because my new place wasn't ready. It was, like, the next week that client came in to get her lashes done. And so we're in my house where all of this had happened. And I'm doing her appointment. And we're talking. And for some reason, like, an NSYNC song starts playing in my head. I'm so mad. I can't remember which one it was. I want to say it was, like, I'm not even going to guess. Forget it. It does make the story better, but I can't. So it starts playing in my head, and I'm talking to this client, and I go, not to be weird, but, like, do you have, like, a connection with an NSYNC song with her? And she's like, you need to stop doing my lashes for a minute. And she's like, why would you say that? And I'm like, because it's playing in my head. And I'm like, and it's this one, whichever one it was. Bye, whatever. She goes, that was one of the songs that we had a routine to when we were kids. Like, we danced to that exact song.
That's wild.
And then for some reason, it just, like, came to my head, and I just said it out loud because this person got married this year. I go, I think she wants you to play an NSYNC song at your wedding so you guys can dance together. We were both just, like, covered in, like, chills, but, like, sweating. And I was like, I'm supposed to be doing your eyelashes. This is out of hand. Like, it's too much. So, man, spooky stuff happens sometimes when you're not ready.
Do you ever get scared that it's going to happen when, like, you don't expect it?
I mean, to be honest, I never expect it.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
I have to go in not expecting it, especially because, like, it is, like, a very rare thing.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know. I think it's, like, it's special and it's cool.
Yeah.
And to be able to, like, deliver that kind of message, I think is, like, I don't know. It's special. I don't take it lightly.
Special.
Yeah.
I think that it's, like, it's, like, an honor for me, especially, and, like, again, thank you guys for, like, letting me read for you. Like, it really is, like, a very, like, vulnerable space to be in. But, like, it is spooky. Vulnerability is also spooky.
It is spooky.
That might be the spookiest thing of the season is vulnerability.
No, 100%.
It's so true.
No,
for sure.
Well, thank you so much for coming on and doing our readings.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course.
And anytime you need one.
Yeah. And
I would love it.
You book your appointments on
I do.
your thing. So you can
For
do
sure.
like, you do mini reading?
I do like a bunch of different lengths. If you like aren't sure, you can start off with a smaller one. I do them virtually. So if you don't live here, we can do it on Zoom or over the phone. I also might be doing like recorded readings too. If like you're someone who like is nervous to like do it conversationally.
Yeah.
I've thought about like having an option where you can like purchase a recording and then like I will just like tell you what I see, because I know sometimes it is scary to like talk back and forth about it. I mean, I'm guilty of it. I've definitely ordered recorded readings because I like didn't want to get read to filth by some stranger. I was like, you can just send it to my inbox. I'll listen to it alone in my room. That's fine. But yeah, if you're like curious and you want a reading, come to me.
Yeah,
I would
check
love
it out. Charmed on Instagram.
Yes, charmed.mi. I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
We'll put some links or something somewhere. I don't
It'll
know
be
how
in
this
the
works.
description.
In the description.
Yes,
below.
but thank you
Please
so
click.
much.
Of course.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
having me.
Okay. Wow. That was intense. Super fun, but also just like spooky. I think we said in the beginning, like, it's just so accurate and like
Wild.
Yeah, it was very good. We even said during the readings, like, yours was just so good. And we've done tarot before and we talked about it on here before, but this time it was just so good. So highly, highly recommend going to see Brandy if you are in Michigan or not, because she talked about how she does online readings too now. You can do it like via Zoom or just purchase a recording.
Yeah.
So you don't have to go face to face at all if you don't want. But yeah, super glad we did this and
Same.
so thankful that she came on and did this.
10 out of 10 recommend her. Honestly, I had never met her before and she was the sweetest soul and just so personable. And I loved the way that she was so real with us too throughout. She's like, so when I'm hearing things, I'm not hearing like a guy and I think she said like a jean jacket or leather jacket. She's like, it's my voice, but it's just compelling. And everything she said, I was like, oh, that makes so much sense. I've never had anyone explain anything like that to me before, even though we have seen like people for tarot card readings in the past. And I just felt, I don't know, just so connected to her and just so thankful for the experience that we had.
Yeah, same. And I told you too, like before she came, I kept telling Brittany, I was like, I didn't even know really that side of her when like the tarot stuff, or we never talked about any of that when I would like go get my eyelashes done with her. But I kept telling him like, you're just gonna love her. Like she's so great. And I was like, I feel like everybody is gonna love her too. And it's so funny because I talk about her like we've been best friends forever.
For years.
Like literally she just used to do my lashes. But when you're there, like we talked about, you're kind of just like with that person for a couple hours.
I felt like I was her best friend by the time that she was like just the small time, an hour or so that we were with her.
Yeah,
just radiates like the best, most positive energy.
I
She's
agree.
awesome.
I agree. But yeah, so we are so glad. We hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Like we said, if you want to see the bonus content, make sure you join the Patreon. Evan is on it this week. Also, we didn't even discuss, but we are wearing the new merch. So I've got the little skeleton on. Brittany's got the You Say Witch Like It's a Bad Thing. And that's still all up on the site right now, just littleshadypodcast.com. So if you want to check that stuff out and keep submitting your spooky stories, we're going to get back to reading them next week. So we'll see you guys then.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.